Let me look at these questions. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So, starting off, I want to start with, we're just going to introduce ourselves, obviously. But first thing I want to say is, this isn't a podcast. It's not a podcast. We're just here. We're just vibing, recording. We want to kind of show and tell what Tandem is, why we started Tandem, um, just why we love what we do. We've been in this field, going on 4 or 5 years. We just keep growing, keep on bringing people along with us, telling stories. So, if you want to start it off, brother, you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Jeremy Corshi, known as on Instagram and other social media platforms as Remy Crispin. Remy comes from Jeremy, the last part of my name. Crispin simply just means curly haired in Latin. Just it's just a name that I just really just stuck with. And yeah, I mean, I love what I do. I do what I love as far as photography and media is concerned. As far as getting into creative media, really just started off just with a creative mind in general. Started off making clothes when I graduated from college, and in order just to take out the middleman, as far as production was concerned, media production, as far as shooting and stuff like that, I got myself a camera, and honestly, I just fell in love with it, and I kind of just left the clothes alone, which is a good skill to have, but left the clothes alone, fell in love with the photography and stuff like that, and that's kind of propelled me into new heights and just meeting new people and just putting myself in a brand new life that I never really thought I would see myself in, outside of sports and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of like my backstory as far as how I got into photography. I love capturing people, I love immortalizing people, just stills, sports, whatever the case may be. Like, if I can shoot it, you know what I'm saying, I'll end up falling in love with it some way, somehow.
So, one thing I'm always gonna give you a hard time on is the clothes, bro. I'm always gonna give you a hard time on that. We can talk about that another day, because this man was cooking up some crazy clothes. I think the possibilities are endless. He still can do it. He still will do it. But jumping in, man. For me, kind of how I got started in this field, in the creative media. It was around COVID time that I really dove deep into it. The story started before that. Played football at West Georgia. Loved it, man. I had a great career there. Met some amazing people. When I first got there, I thought I was gonna major in computer science. Took some classes, figured out, bro. I was like, I do not like this. I hate it. I didn't even finish my first class. I literally didn't even take the final. I just did not finish it. I didn't like it. There was no way that I saw any growth in that for me. I took a semester undeclared. When I did that, took a mass communications class, and I fell in love with that. I fell in love with, we had different classes, or different topics talking about sound design, different topics talking about radio production, different topics talking about TV production. I'm like, okay, these are cool things that I think I could dive deeper into. Ended up finding my concentration in film and video. When I got to start taking those classes, that's when I really dove in and learned about the camera. We had different classes, cinematography, we had creative screenwriting. We had different classes that I was able to, dive in and learn exposure, learn lighting, learn audio. And that's what really sparked the initial creative growth. Football ended, had NFL dreams, didn't work out. Football ended around COVID time, March 2020. It was around that time. The world was shut down. So I'm just picking up my camera that I bought the prior fall. I pick my camera up and just go out and shoot whatever I could. So I used to just post like sunset photos. I used to post crazy creative color edits off of bleachers or trash cans or whatever I thought was sparking my interest at the time. I would just drive around at night, listen to music, just set up a scene, take the picture, go on to the next scene. It was very therapeutic for me. Fast forwarding a couple months, I started getting into sports stuff. A couple of my buddies were in the NFL. They're working out. They had workouts. I'm like, can I come shoot your workout? Started shooting the workouts. Boom, fell in love with that. So there's always been the love for sports. Always been around. It's always been with us. It's always been with me. So that following year, when I started shooting for our alma mater, Brookwood High School, that's when there was just a change. Like being a part of something that's not, you're not on the team, but you're on the team, but you're documenting those guys in a very special way. And for me, being able to tell stories is something that I love. What do you think for you has been like that driving force in like creating any sort of media? Like, what is that driving force for you? What is this thing that kind of like fuels your passion with this?
I feel like my driving force is really just understanding that like this is a gift that God gave me, you know, and it'll almost be like a slap in his face for me to not continue to pursue and, you know, exhaust that passion that I have with just having a camera in my hand and just documenting whatever the case may be. That's really just a driving passion, just waking up knowing that, you know, that you have a gift is a blessing, but it can also be exhausting if you know, don't know how to gauge that. But I feel like that driving passion is just understanding that God gave me a gift that, you know, a lot of people pray for, you know, because you have a lot of people that are into this profession, you know, that may not have that gift, that have to work 10 times as hard to achieve some of the things that you do. So I kind of just try not to take it for granted, you know, and that's also another driving force, just being grateful just to have that gift that others, you know, may pray for, or others, you know, may go through some seasons of just like self-doubt to achieve that certain skill that you may have. I feel like that's my driving force, but that's not to say that, you know, Chad and myself are not putting in the work to continue to expand our creative eye. Just because you're gifted with something doesn't mean that you don't have to continue working on that gift. You know what I'm saying? Because you can still be very raw creatively, you know. So that driving force has honestly made me want to just continue just to put up more reps. And what I want to say for y'all out there, man, don't be scared to do free work when you're first starting out. When you're first starting out, man, that free work is really what got us on, whether it's working with, you know, different coaches, working out with NFL guys. You know, we work with a few receiver coaches and stuff like that. You know, just getting just paying our dues, honestly, because like you really just can't get onto the scene unless you just have connects, you know, without getting, you know, exposed under free work, you know. So for those of y'all starting out there, man, just don't ever give up on the fact that you just may have to do some free work starting out. That's not saying that you got to sell yourself short, but you may have to do some free compositions in order just to get those reps in over and over again. And then somebody will find value in what you do. And then that's when, you know, the monetary gain starts to come in. But the moment you start putting monetary gain in front of your gift, that's when, you know, the drive starts to fade, because, you know, once money becomes your driving factor, your gift is really a negotiable, you know, and that's not something that you want to have as a creative. Like, don't let the money be everything that you know what I'm saying, want to end up with just because you have a camera in your hand. Like, let the creativity drive you, let that gift drive you, and then, you know, whatever money that you make, whether it's a lot or whether it's modest, it'll still be enough for you, you know. So there are plenty of variables that, you know, go into my driving factor creatively, but I will say first and foremost, it really has to do with God just instilling that gift in me and just not giving up, you know, because there are plenty of times where you just like, I remember when we first started, 2019, 2020, you're like, dang, I ain't had no work in a month.
2020, 2021, and 2022.
Yeah, bro, like, dang.
Those are some tough times where we would just go out and shoot with each other. Like, we would just go, like, you had a couple crispin cut clothes, and we would just go, okay, I'll put on a couple pieces, you put on a couple pieces, and we just go back and forth shooting. Like, we're just doing it. Honestly, we're just learning. We're just starting out still. Like, even to this day, we're still fresh in it. But then we were still just learning our eye, learning lighting, learning the camera, and just how to tell a story, how to create a composition. And like you said with the reps earlier, I mean, sometimes the most fun things you'll do are when you're not getting paid to shoot. Like you might have it might be the most rewarding thing if you just say, hey, today I'm gonna get up and go document the city downtown. Like one of our guys, Stan. Like Stan does it all the time. He just gets up and goes shoots around Atlanta. Or you might say, I want to go. Okay, this weekend there's a marathon going on. And this weekend there's a soccer game going on. Let me just see if I can just go document the community. Yeah. And it's like it's not for a job, but you're doing it just get reps in, and you're doing it because you love it. So I love a lot of the times when I'm shooting. I'm like the days where people are like, why'd you come shoot this today? I'm like, I just feel like shooting. Yeah. I just feel like shooting something. Like maybe one, I just want to touch up on my skills, or two, I just love doing it. Like it's those two things for me. So.
And then it's just like, there's literally no pressure when you're shooting for yourself versus if it's commission work, you got to worry about what they want, shots that they need, and all this type of, extra stuff. Whereas if you're shooting for free for yourself, now you really get to work on your creative eye. And that's what I've seen a lot of clients that we've had really indulge in. They like the way that we shoot because we spent a lot of times diversifying our eye and also, I guess, solidifying it in a sense. Like we don't shoot the same. We have our own different color palettes when it comes to editing and stuff like that. Right. So it's like the clients that come to us, they like what we shoot. They like how we shoot it. So we shoot it exactly how we do it because we've taken time and years and months and days, whatever the case may be, to develop that eye and develop those type of color grades and develop those type of skills, to be able to adhere to different type of clients. Like my clients whenever be Chad's clients and vice versa. Now, granted, we may have, consolidated a few, to where we're doing photo and video for both, i.e. like the rugby teams that we shoot for, the soccer teams that we shoot for. But, all in all, like we've done a very good job as far as like creating our own niche, stylistically, in order to adhere to clients that, come to us for that exact look, and that all comes with doing the free work, going out even when you don't feel like it, just sharpen up on your skills. Like I said, just because you have a gift and a skill does not mean you're already good at it. Just because a child is athletic and fast doesn't mean he can't go get his butt kicked on the track. Right. You know what I'm saying? Hard work fails. Talent fails when hard work, I don't even know what that thing says. But talent fails. You know what? I ain't even gonna say it.
Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard.
Exactly.
If you're not working on your craft, if you're not touching up that skill, if you're not out there consistently just working on it, sharpening your eye. One of my favorite guys to watch, Joe Greer, he said he's constantly looking at life through a frame, and it's like even if he's not taking a photo, like if you're just walking down the sidewalk and you see like a husband or wife and their kid, like he's pushing the stroller. There might be an image that you think, okay, that frame might be something that you take a picture of. It's just ordinary life, but like he said, he's constantly looking, just sharpening his eye, just looking at life through a frame. Okay, let me see about this composition right here. Okay, boom, you just mentally documented it in your head, and then it's like you get to the point where you might bring your camera everywhere and you're sharpening that tool. I think that's a big thing. I think it's just be like the consistency behind, whether it's free work, whether it's paid work, it's the consistency behind always sharpening the tool, and not like letting yourself get to a point where you think the talent is there and now you're not doing the work with the talent. So pushing forward.
What do we hope to accomplish from having the camera in our hands?
What do we hope to accomplish? I'd let you take it first, brother.
What I hope to accomplish for myself and for us is just continue to get our names out there, honestly, just continue to sharpen our eyes, not only for others, but really for ourselves, because, even if I wasn't getting paid to do this, even if I still had a regular job, I'd still be shooting. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd still be into photography just as much. We have a colleague of ours, her name is Scoot. Photography is her hobby, and yet she's still one of the best at it. So like that's what I'm talking about. Like even if we have and I think she does social work or something like that. Correct me on that, Scoot. She's into helping others. you know, but she still shoots on the side. So like, if I was in that same position, I'd still be shooting, you know. But really just to get my name out there, really just to get our collective name out there creatively, just to honestly just plant ourselves in every single niche, whether it be on America's Top Chef, shooting for them, shooting for the NFL, shooting for the Olympics. I mean, like, we're really athletes, so like, as far as sports are concerned, we want to be, you know, delved into it. You know, just being in every sporting event, every single, you know, athlete's life, you know, just documenting stuff like that. But also, you know, not straying away from landscape photography, you know, just like we want to be contracted for every single opportunity that is given to us. And with that being given to us, we want to take advantage and, you know, give whoever is giving us that chance, you know, the best product that they've ever had, just to continue doing what we love, you know, at a high clip. So long story short, just continue to get our name out there, continue to change people's lives. You know, there's so many times where we finish a shoot and, you know, like, the client just feels good without even knowing what the photos will even look like. And then once you give them that final product, you know, of the set, you know, they're even more in love with the photos. So it's not also just, you know, for us, but for others as well, just helping them, you know, like, I mean, granted, we have difficult clients, but like, for the most part, 94% of the time, we have amazing clients. And, you know, just shooting for them and just watching how happy they are whenever we're doing what we do as far as the photo shoot is concerned is really what makes everything worth it. Just knowing that, you know, even though we still have a camera for ourselves, we can still serve others and, you know, just really just make their day. And, you know, whatever the case may be, whether it be a wedding or a baby shower or whatever the case may be, you know, just helping them just experience that type of, you know, just making them feel special. You know, just keeping that camera on, just making them feel special. So, you know, helping ourselves, getting our name out there, but also serving others and just making them happy with the product that we give them. How about yourself?
So I think getting our name out there is the greatest stepping stone to being able to do what we want to do. I want to be able to, you know, tell stories, impact people's lives. There's times, like, say we go to shoot a youth football camp, like, documenting those moments for those kids. I like to think long term with it, because I like to think about maybe either the parent having that photo 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, or that kid having that photo 20, 30 years down the line. And then if you think different storylines within that, the kid might, say that kid turns out to be a Hall of Famer, and then you documented him as a 11-year-old kid at a camp. It's cool to have that story and be able to tell that story and be like, okay, this is where he was. He went to this NFL player's youth camp and did that. But I think storytelling is something that is priceless. I think it's priceless for sure. I think having opportunities to be, like you say, on those bigger stages, whether it's the Olympics, whether it's shooting on a movie set, behind the scenes photography or whatever it is, I think we dream big, so we want to do a lot of different things. I just think impacting people's lives is something that's going to get us where we want to go. And our name getting out there is going to be in part with that. So I think those two things are big for me, bro. I think moving forward, I know we want to talk about some people that kind of inspire us. We don't have to go too long in this list because there's a lot of people.
You got Joe Greer. He's one of them. Joe was one of them ones. Joe Greer, his wife even shoots, and she's tough.
Amazing.
She's amazing. Willem Verbeek. One of my personal favorites, Shamal. He shoots medium format. He is great. Like, I can truly say with my color palette and my grading, I kind of try and emulate the way that he shoots his medium format. He kind of has a darkish, greenish undertone. It's kind of the style that I've been, you know, emulating for like the past couple years, into my own. Imitation is good until you start directly copying somebody. Yeah. Just so you guys know. You can always be inspired by somebody's look, but just don't try and do what they do.
Take what they do, turn it into something that you would do, but like be inspired by it, take what they do, and we both do it. Like, take what they do, be inspired by it, turn it into your own, and then try to make it better, try to make it different. Keep telling your perspective through the inspiration. Anybody else you got though?
Katie Wilson. She's one of the best, if not the best wedding photographer I've seen so far. We used to love Gunner style a lot, but I don't know what he's on. But Gunner, if you ever see this video, I pray you get back in your bag.
I think he's still shooting. I think that's more so on the side, like when you get the money, you kind of slow down a little bit. But go look at his books. Tap in with his books.
We bought his first book, I think. His first photo book. We both got it around 2020, 2021, man, and that was definitely an inspiration, man. I still look at it from time, you know. It's still definitely like a conversation book, you know, just sitting in the living room. But you know, Gunner was definitely one of the ones that popped it off for us. But yeah, Joe, Willem Verbeek, and there's so many other photographers that we admire. Volandez, you know, people of that caliber that just continue just to do what they do in spite of what other people think. That's kind of what we respect most. Mike Gray, amazing YouTuber, amazing documenter, amazing film photographer. Like everybody that we've mentioned, and there's so many more. Even people that we know close to us. Scoot is amazing. Lamar, as annoying as he is, Lamar is one of the best young boys out here. Don C, one of the best. Zeno, one of the best. You know, we're surrounded by so much talent that we could go on for days about who inspire us, because like we could send people's photos back and forth to us, talk about how good they are and how good the photos are and stuff like that. We do that all the time anyway. So but yeah, the ones that we mentioned, man, those are the ones that we really look at for real, man. They really do things the right way, and they're just very organic. Oh, the BPN Supplements creative team, they are amazing. Shout out to Nick Bear, man.
BPN Media is killing the game. If y'all ever watch this, we would love to work with y'all. Yes. We would love to. Y'all, a lot of stuff y'all do, man, is the inspiration type of stories that we want to tell. So big shout out to y'all. A few more people that I frequently look at. Samuel Elkins.
Yes, Elkins.
Samuel Elkins. He shoots a lot of landscapes. He shoots a lot of travel and on the Pacific Northwest and North California type landscape photography, camping photography. He does a lot of different things, but I think somebody like that who is very diverse in what they shoot shows like something that we like to do. Like we like to not just be in one box. Now he doesn't shoot like a lot of sports and stuff like that, but he does. There is times where he's doing a yoga style shoot or like a cycling style shoot or a trail running style shoot. And he's created a style where he can get those images because of the things that he shot that are just passion projects or just shooting for fun for a YouTube video. Like you mentioned Scoot, Joel, Joseph,
Joel,
goated.
Elite.
You got man, everybody in Atlanta. Like if we started naming everybody in Atlanta, like we're gonna name the whole city. Y'all know who y'all are. We love y'all. Y'all are fire. Like Garrett Cardoso, like fire.
Garrett, nice.
But there's so many people that inspire me, whether they're young or old, like all my night Edie folks. I love y'all. There's so many people that inspire us. So I would say the reason for this question, take that inspiration, let it fuel you, and then go create something that inspired you and make it better. Do that over and over and over until you just, now you're the one people saying you're inspired by, and then you keep on creating. I know we probably got to close up here soon, but
how has photography and videography impacted your life, Chad?
Kind of touched on it earlier, but I think coming from a place where I thought I was going to be playing professional football, I'm way more at peace with life now than when I was in that phase of life. I always joke around and say like, oh, I look at the players, they're out there they're colliding and getting beat up and hit, and I don't have to do that. But I think more so on the side of, going back to what I said, just telling the stories. Like one of my most fun seasons of life was the first year I shot at Brookwood, 2021. All my guys from Brookwood, like that team was special, and they loved each other, they cared about each other. it was a true team. And if you've never been a part of a team sport, what I'm saying might not really like resonate with you, but being able to document that and be around those guys, that was something that I still hold dear to my heart. I love to be a part of telling stories, and I think if I didn't have the camera in my hand, it wouldn't be the same. So I think photography is something that has brought me to community outside of sports, because I'm so used to community. So outside of sports, it just brought me more into community, like in a lot of different ways. So I think that's one way, and then another way, it actually pushes me to be outside my comfort zone. I'm naturally introverted, so you got to speak to people in this industry, in photography, videography, whatever it is. Specifically, like you're doing a portrait shoot or a wedding shoot. As a photographer, you have to make your clients, you have to make the people around you feel comfortable. That's pushed me to be way more outside my comfort zone and do things that I thought I couldn't or wouldn't want to do tenfold. So those are a couple ways that photography, has impacted my life.
It's impacted my life in a way, just not being selfish, just being a lot more selfless, just having to deal with people and their wants and their needs. Not to say that it's annoying, but you know, just getting out of that, state of self. Just like I said, we want to serve others, so it kind of forces you to do for others, especially when you're being commissioned to do for others. For that type of work. It's taught me how to be patient, because not everybody's walk is your walk. People may see success sooner than you. So it really taught me how to be patient, especially if you feel like you're better than somebody, which should never ever be the case. You should always be humble, and always understand that there's something that people may like about that person that they don't like about you, which is why they chose them. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not saying that you're not good. They just like what they do better than what you do. You know what I'm saying? So just being patient and just understanding that everybody has their own role to play, everybody has their own dance to dance, and just stay in your lane, just keep grinding, because once upon a time, there was a point in time where a lot of people that we admired, they were brand new to the camera world, and they had to figure out their life. So just understanding that not everybody started off popping, or not everybody started out successful, not everybody started off making money that they're making right now, kind of just kept me humble, and just understanding that, my dance ain't Chaz's dance, my dance ain't whoever I just mentioned prior's dance, and really just taught me how to really just be more appreciative of, keeping my mind where my feet are, i.e. just being present. Photography teaches you how not to think about any other thing than what you're shooting, and I have a very neurodivergent mind, I think about a million things at once. But photography has honestly taught me how to calm down and focus on the subject at hand and keep my head where my feet are and just stay as present as possible in every aspect of life, honestly.
And wrapping up, what we want to accomplish with Tandem, we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but thinking big, I just messed up the whole thing. So big picture. If I had to say, our Tandem optics goals, I know we said be humble, but we want to be the best at what we do. If you don't want to be the best at whatever you're doing, I don't think there's no point in doing it. Now it's fine to have those aspirations and still be humble. We're not saying like we say we're not better than, but I'll be the first to admit, I have so many things to learn. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I really don't. I'm just out here creating, having fun. We want to be the best at whatever we're doing. We want to be the best creating photos, creating videos, telling stories. We want to be the best at it, I think. And then also, I keep on coming back to impacting people's lives in a positive way. We'll be in Atlanta, and there'll be people that we just come across, and you can tell we vibed with them, they vibed with us, and it's we impacted their lives, and you see the smile on their face, and it was just by coming in contact with them. I think that's the greatest thing God has given us, is just being able to have human connection, community, and is being able to impact people's lives and put a smile on somebody's face. So for me, that would be the goals that I have going into the rest of the year, next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years for Tandem. So
Yeah, I mean, pretty much mine aligns directly with Chad's, just being the best first and foremost, continuing just to grow in our craft and just serving others, bro. Just serving others. Like photography, it's a much more bigger concept than just having a camera in your hand, just taking photos. Like with every gift that you have, you want to see how you can serve others.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you want to work as though you're working for God. And, we definitely believe, our gifts are meant to help others. Our gifts are meant to inspire others. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like helping others also creates that community. And that's really about it, man. Just be the best and just help others in every way, shape, or form. Help others see that they can believe in themselves. Help others by giving them the photos that they want or that they need or that they long for or that they never even knew that they could even get. Because I'm I'll take a photo of somebody or like at like a wedding or like some type of shoot. Be like, man, these are the best photos I've ever seen. You tell me that you've never had a good photographer before? So it's like it's things like that keep me going because, people need us. Not to say that we're the ish, but I don't care. That's just the case. But in some way, shape, or form, we have to be able to serve others, because the moment you start to think that you're too big for your skill or you're too big for others because of the gift that God has given you, things could be taken away momentarily or even just abruptly, So just keeping others first on top of us being the best is honestly the biggest goal that, Chad and myself have for Tandem Optics, and we will continue just to do so in a manner that is fresh, that is fly, and that is the best ever. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I think there's gonna be so many times you take photos of somebody and they hold that close to their heart.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I feel like you said before, like you immortalize people.
Yeah, they be like, bro, I still look at the photos.
Still look at those photos. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. We'll see y'all on the next one.